thought that I would come in. It's a Saturday night, so I thought that I would step up and say hello and answer questions for you. I've had some trouble with my Instagram lately. My Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins, but sometimes they just cut me off on Instagram, and I don't know if that's a deliberate thing or not. But anyway, you can ask me any question, and I will answer your question. Make it a one sentence question, and I will answer that question. More sense says, "Am I the only one here?" Not right now. I mean, you might have been the first one here, but you're not the only one. There's other people coming in. What's up, Doc? Hey, what's going on, Jonathan and Shannon? Hello, how are you? Good to see you, Dr. Boyce. I bought a $50 put on GameStop after their March 26 earnings. Would you hold until then or not? March 26, March 26, March 26. That's a long time. I'm not gonna tell you not to hold. I would just say that's a long time. And I have options on GameStop that expire on the 5th and the 12th of February. And I sold those options because when the options market has been heating up, like the game, people don't tell you this, but the guys on Robinhood are making smart people like traders like myself very wealthy. Like you can make so much money if you're a patient investor. It's like when I play poker. I play a lot of poker, and when you have people that come in that are hardcore players that just throw chips around, if you're a good player and you're patient, you know how to get all their chips eventually. So I've been selling a lot of options and making like a lot of money that way. And so I encourage you. This is a public service announcement. Be very careful about falsely believing that what's happening on Robinhood and on Reddit is actually investing. That's not investing. That's gambling. Anybody can gamble. If you want to gamble, go to Vegas, right? If you want to invest, that's a whole different level of engagement. Doesn't mean you can't gamble, but just don't think when you're gambling, you're investing. It's like I compare it to the difference between having sex and really trying to have a baby and raising a baby. Those are two different things. Having sex does not make you a parent. So you should have sex. Sex is great. But just know that, like when I'm having sex, I'm not saying, "Yeah, look at me, I'm raising kids." No, you're not raising kids. You're busting a nut, like you're having orgasms. Like, or having orgasms is not the same as raising children. Do you get what I'm saying? Give me a yes if you follow what I'm saying. Okay, you know me, I got to keep it honest. And I think that's the best analogy to lay out for you. So I sold some calls. I don't remember the strike prices. I think it was 135 and 140 because at that time, 135 and 140 seemed like big numbers because I bought in at 113. And I wish I had sold calls at like 200 or 250 because I would have made like a killing. But I ain't trying to be greedy. I just want my money and bounce out. Even doing that little bit of a move, it was like raking cash. Like there was a lot of money being made that day. So anyway, let me keep going. All right. So I'm gonna look over here and grab some of your questions here. Let's see. So I will sell the call. Yeah, if your call had a strike of 50, you're way in the money. Like, what's the point in waiting? Seriously, there's no point. Like unless you bought it when it was deep in the money. If it was out of the money when you bought it, my God, you got that probably thousands of dollars in your account. Go get that money, partner. I'm not telling you what to do. This is not investment advice, but go get your money, man. Don't be greedy. Greed is a great way to destroy yourself. Have you ever done a startup business? Yes, I've done a lot of startup businesses. Let's see here. Kaya Nicole says, what should I invest in if I don't have a lot of money? You can buy stocks for like as little as $5. You get started on a like Cash App or something like that, Robinhood, all those things, or maybe not Robinhood, maybe Stash or Acorn, since everybody's mad at Robinhood. If you go to firstsharestock.com, there's actually free training on how to buy your first share of stock. So and everybody seems to like it because the video's been viewed about 1 million times. So if you want to kind of get started and you're watching all this go down, feel free to go to firstsharestock.com. That first part is totally free. I offer you a chance to get into my mini class at like 90% off. You can take that if you want, but you don't have to take the offer. You can just, do the free stuff. Why are you up so late? I am up late because we just got home. We went out to visit some family friends for a birthday. And I don't know, I got done and I felt like saying hi to you guys for a little bit. Let's see here. Do you believe in ADOS? American Descendants of Slaves. I believe in the concept. I'm not so much a fan of the organization because I know the leader. I mean, Yvette Carnell, we go way back, and she used to work for me. I guess in her mind, she worked for me. I thought we were more like partners, but either way, she worked with me for many years. And some would say I played some part in getting her out there. I used to let her use my YouTube channel, and that didn't work out, and it ended kind of badly. And I don't think that their leadership style is one that I can endorse. But it doesn't mean I dislike them. It doesn't mean I don't think they're smart. It just means I don't have time for silly stuff. So basically, I am a descendant of slaves. So we're all in that same boat. But it's a little bit like Black Lives Matter. We all agree Black Lives Matter, but that doesn't mean you have to be a member of the Black Lives Matter organization. So I'm not dissing anything or whatever, but I am saying that to have a movement really work, I think you need solid leadership. You need humility. You need teamwork. And that organization doesn't impress me as having that yet. But maybe one day they will. God bless them. I ain't got nothing to say, anything else to say about that. How will stock trading become decentralized? I think that there's a big DeFi movement in crypto. I think there's a lot of hope there. I think that the decentralization of finance will be good for the world. And I think that this whole Robinhood Reddit situation is an argument in favor of decentralization of finance. So I look forward to seeing what that looks like. Let's see here. What do you think about Biden's move to put immigrants and gays above and before blacks? Well, they've always done that. That's why I don't give them suckers my vote until they give me something. If you don't give me anything, then you won't get my vote. You can go get somebody else's vote, but you won't get mine. So is this the perfect time to invest in real estate? I think real estate's always a good move. Just make sure you work with somebody that knows what they're doing, because if you don't, then you can end up losing a lot of money. So I would, look around, work with people that know what they're talking about. Julian Gordon, the blackreigroup.com. That's where Julian Gordon's program is. Actually, it's in the Black Business School, and he's a great partner. He's a good guy, and his program is really good. So I'm going to put that URL on the screen if you want to go take a look, the blackreigroup.com. So feel free to go take a look. Did you take the vaccine? No, I'm never going to get a vaccine. I would rather use this time as an opportunity to work on my immune system. I believe that if you take good care of your body and your health, that significantly reduces your odds of being taken down by a virus. I try not to put drugs in my body, especially not bad drugs, illegal drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. I don't mess with none of that, because, when you get older, you're going to need drugs to stay alive, so you want to take care of your health. Your health is your wealth. Kamala Harris doesn't believe in reparations. What's your opinion? I think that the fact that she specifically stated, she told you who she is, right? She's told you who she is. Kamala is a very intelligent, very ambitious woman who is now in the White House. Is she a black woman? That's debatable, because she's half Indian, we know that, and half Jamaican. She's definitely not Black American. And even the Jamaican side, I think her father mentioned that they used to own slaves or something interesting like that. And so I haven't seen a lot of evidence that Kamala is really in there, like really drilling it for Black people. And she specifically stated that she's not going to do anything specific for Black folks. But then again, maybe she'll come up with something. But if you notice, the Democrats never use the word reparations. I want you to pay very close attention when they talk. They never use that word, ever. So why would they not use that word? The word's on the tip of your lips. A lot of y'all talking about reparations in this chat, and y'all Black, right? I assume that you're Black. So why wouldn't they ever use the word reparations? Well, I think it's because they're playing the game. I'm not a fan of any of those games, but at the same time, do I think that she's a terrible politician? No, she's a very good politician, and she's a very smart lady. She just doesn't represent me. That's not somebody like I kind of believe in equity. Like, I'll do as much for you as I think you would do for me. I don't believe Kamala Harris will go to bat for me. So I'm not going to go to bat for her. It doesn't mean I hate her. It just means I believe in reciprocity. I'd rather go to bat for people that I know would go to bat for me, right? That's what you do if you care about yourself. So anyway, let me keep going. Let's see here. Let's see. Good evening, says Arthur. Good evening to you. Mandela says, how can I get money fast if I have a 9-to-5? Get you maybe a side hustle or something. That's a good way to go. Investing is also good too. We're live with you, Dr. Boy. Dr. B, don't stop, says Bree Son. I won't. Let's keep going. Would you change from Robinhood to Webull, as said? I would just diversify in general. I didn't kill my Robinhood account. I'm just not going to put all my money on Robinhood. But remember, Robinhood and Webull are all doing the same thing. They're running the same game. It's just Robinhood got busted, but they're all doing the same game. You see, you don't understand. You think that you bought the product. You didn't buy nothing. It's because they're not charging you money to use that app. You are the product. So understand the difference between buying the product and being the product. You are the product. And that's just what it is. It's like, if I go to the movies and I pay for a movie ticket, then I'm buying access to the movie. I'm buying a product because somebody got to pay the bills. But if I watch a Monday Night Football where I pay nothing, well, somebody's paying the bills, right? Well, then that means there's a transaction that's occurring where I have become the product. They're selling my eyeballs and my attention to corporations in exchange for them running ads. So the person who pays the bills is going to make the rules. So basically, for Robinhood, you're getting commission-free trades, but nothing's free. Everything has a price, right? That's a lesson in economic maturity I've talked to you guys about. It's very important. That's why for Black people, it's important that you pay the cost for the things that you want. When you think that white people are supposed to pay for your education, well, guess what? They're going to give you a white education. You expect them to buy you food, but guess what? They're going to put whatever they want in your food. You think that they're supposed to support you, give you a job? Well, great. Well, you're going to be working for their companies, right? So with Robinhood, Webull, all of them, they're selling the customer to the brokers that are getting their order flow and paying Robinhood. That's why Robinhood's worth $20 billion. Look at their business model. They're very transparent about it. They didn't lie. So those incentives, if you follow the trail of breadcrumbs, you understand exactly why they did what they did. Webull's doing the same thing. If you listen to the interview with the Webull CEO, he did not disagree with Robinhood. He didn't say, "Oh man, they whack. I can't believe they did that." No, he defended Robinhood. So I don't see a difference between the two. They're all kind of playing the same game. So that's what it is. Let's see here. Mandela says you're a great male, light skinned. Okay, I'm not light skinned, but okay. I hope I'd be okay if I was light or dark. Let's see. Does Sister Vicky need mental help? Asked Donald. I don't think so. I think Vicky's great, but we all probably need a therapist. All of us as Black people, we all a little bit off. Is there a Black-owned trading platform? Not that I know of, Canna. I don't know what that is. Let's see here. Jonathan, there's no question. You are inspiring me to lose the weight, Doc. Good for you, man. Good for you. Take baby steps. That's the key. If you do baby steps, like I'm not a runner. Like I run every 2 days, but I am not a runner. I swear. If you saw me run, you would laugh at me because I'm so pathetic. Because I'll run for like a quarter mile and then I will walk a quarter mile if I feel like it. Right. The key is to keep moving. That's the key. If you keep moving and you jog for as long as you can, and then you walk for a while and then jog and then walk, and you're just moving and you're sweating and stuff, you're going to see the weight fall off, especially if you don't do anything. There's a big difference between doing no exercise at all and doing a little bit of exercise. So just do a little bit. How do you feel about Black-owned trading platform Doe? I didn't know Doe was Black-owned. I've heard about Doe. I have an account with Doe. Doe was Black-owned, huh? Okay, I'll go check it out. Would you invest in JCPenney stock? Asked Beverly Hoods. I wouldn't. I'm not a JCPenney. Are they bankrupt yet? Or I thought they were dead. I was gonna say Ashe to JCPenney because I thought that's what our 13-year-old did. My fiance said, yeah, today's Anita Baker's birthday. And I said, she's 63, isn't she? And I don't know why, for some reason, 63 seemed right. And then she's like, yeah. And the 13-year-old said, she said, she's alive? I said, yeah, she's alive. And she said, oh, I was going to say Ashe. So but that's what they do when they're young. They really think that, like, if you like can remember the 70s or the 80s, you're like anciently old. All right, just wait. Anybody in who thinks that that's old, just wait till the year 2040, and I want you to remember this conversation, and then I want you to remember that when you're feeling the way we feel, when you don't feel old yet, but everyone thinks you're super old. That's a terrible feeling. Let's see here. How can I be a part of future Zoom call conversations? I don't know which Zoom call conversations you're talking about. I wish I could answer. I don't know what you mean. Let's see here. Rolanda, what's the best book to buy that can teach me about stocks and investing? I don't know. There's a few out there, like the 4-Hour Workweek and the Automatic Millionaire and the Millionaire Next Door and Rich Dad Poor Dad and then of course just general Black economics books like Powernomics and stuff like that. But also I think you can learn a lot just online and reading the news every day, watching videos, things like that. And of course, we have the Black Business School, which actually, by the way, you can get started for free. So you can go to theblackbusinessschool.com, theblackbusinessschool.com if you'd like to get started for free. Okay, let's see. Next question. Is Tidal and Ciroc good to invest in? I didn't even know they were publicly traded. I've never thought about investing in them, but I don't know the specifics of their company. Wayne, did you hear Michael Jordan is directly connected to the GameStop gamma squeeze? Really? Michael Jordan? Note to self. Look up Michael Jordan and GameStop. I didn't know that. So is he the good guy or the bad guy? That's interesting. Let me Google that. I'm gonna Google that right quick. Could you hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it yet? Oh, and by the way, if you go to intelligentblackpeople.com, That's where if you actually get inspired ever to support the channel, we actually have a Patreon at intelligentblackpeople.com. I just don't talk about it much, but yeah, it's intelligentblackpeople.com. So let me see. Michael Jordan, GameStop. Okay, let's see. Michael Jordan is directly connected with the GameStop trading war and has been for the last year. Unless you haven't been on the internet the past week, you've undoubtedly heard about the madness on Wall Street in which Reddit users bought an insanely large amount of obsolete stocks in order to undermine hedge funds, most notably GameStop, which prompted multiple investment platforms to begin restricting trades on what they call meme stocks. While some folks made a lot of money, others lost millions, including Charlotte Hornets minority shareholders Gabe Plotkin and Daniel Sudheim, who bought a stake in the team from Michael Jordan back in 2019. Both have reportedly suffered major losses, which obviously affects the six-time NBA champion, who himself lost quite a bit of money last year and now may have to find new investors. Michael Jordan sold a stake. Okay. So Michael Jordan first bought a minority stake in the Hornets back in 2006. Okay. So it looks like his investors, his co-investors got body slammed financially in the whole GameStop thing. Okay, so that's not. I mean, it's not like Michael did anything. He just. I mean, can you really take responsibility for what your friends get involved with? No. But that is interesting though. No, it's a partner that has some ownership in the Hornets. Yeah. So that's interesting. Okay, I'm looking at that. What's the greatest investment Black people can make? I think that every Black child should learn how to start a business by the age of 12. So I guess your children maybe. Every Black child should know how to start a business by the age of 12. Every Black child should be a stockholder when they're born. Every Black child should own real estate as soon as possible. So how about that? There you go. There's 3 things you can do that will guarantee that your children will not be in any sort of Negro economic category. Like those low level categories where they're talking about Black wealth is going to disappear and all that. That's for people who are getting the sucker education, who are being sucked in. You know what? Yeah, they talk about reparations for slavery. Well, your school system is preparations for slavery. Like literally, y'all don't get reparations, y'all get preparations. So they prepare y'all to become slaves for the white economic system from birth. Seriously, like your preparations for slavery start with going to a public school that teaches you how to go work for white people as a sign of success. And then they also teach you that if you really want to be successful, you're going to go to a white university and give them all your family wealth and go so deep in debt that you can never get out. Right. So you stuck with all this debt. You're working for Mr. Charlie, and maybe you're renting from another Mr. Charlie. And so they're literally sucking all your money out of your community like a vacuum cleaner. And then every day you're listening to rappers who supposedly look like you, but most of them are working for white people who are telling you to blow all your money and to go do every stupid thing that a human being could possibly do to ruin their life, to stay ignorant, get addicted to drugs and alcohol. I had a friend that contacted me this week actually because her son was actually addicted to Percocets. And remember, the rapper Future literally had a song called Molly Percocets. I don't know if y'all remember that song. Like that's a commercial. Except it's more powerful than a commercial because hip hop music is more influential than any commercial in history, right? So what I'm saying to y'all is like, seriously, like if you want, forget trying to get reparations for slavery. Y'all need to deal with your preparations for slavery that they give you from the time that you're born, from the media you consume to the education you consume to the choices you're led to make to the way you let people come into your community and set up businesses and suck up all your money. Like that's just, I mean, they treat you like a hoe. Like seriously, you become economic hoes. Like what is wrong with us? Like I know what's wrong with us, but it makes me ask, what is wrong with us? Every single thing that we do in a lot of these areas is completely backward. So what I'm saying to you is that, you know, and you'll probably already get this because you heard me talk before and you're here. Like you're here. That's what makes you different, right? But I'm saying walk away from all of that. Like seriously, walk away from all of that. You know, like don't be, you know, when they say, well, you ain't black, you ain't really being black. I would be like, okay, be more specific. What does that mean? Like if not being black means I don't care about black people. Well, that's not true. If not being black means that, you know, that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do for my family, then okay, I would acknowledge that. But if not being black means that I don't know how to dance and eat barbecue chicken with the pastor and I don't always vote for the Democrats and always do stupid shit with my money, like my favorite rapper does, and smoke blunts and drink liquor all day. No disrespect to anybody who does any of these things. I'm not I named a long list of activities that are associated with blackness. Then sometimes you might just be like, you know what? I don't want to be black. I don't. That ain't the black I'm signing up for. Because I'm gonna tell you, I had somebody that told me today. It was real interesting, and I didn't understand where it came from. This lady met me, right, and we talked or whatever, and she told somebody else. And my friend that she told me this. She said, yeah, she was so surprised. She said, yeah, I met Dr. Boyce, and he was so nice. And my friend was like, well, what did you expect? And she said, well, I heard that he hates black women, and I was like, who the fuck told you that? Like, I'm praising black women every day of the week. But does that mean I got to agree with every dumb shit a black woman does everywhere on any planet? No, some black women are stupid. Some black women are predators. It doesn't mean I hate all black women. I might just not like you. I might just think you're trifling. That doesn't mean I think all black women are trifling. I think black women by default are beautiful and amazing and extraordinary. I'm marrying an amazing black woman. I'm raising black women. My mama's a black woman. My sister's a black woman. My great beloved grandmother, we named our black business school Panther after her. She's a black woman, right? So I love black women, but that don't mean I love them all, because y'all know what I'm talking about. Seriously. So I'm like, does me loving black women mean I got to co-sign on every piece of bullshit that comes out of a black woman's mouth? Well, that obviously means that you are too stupid for me to be having this conversation with you, because clearly that's not possible. And that would make me retarded if I was to live my life that way. And I'm a professor. Most professors are not retarded. So I'm going to just back away and let you walk away with the assumption that I hate black women. In other words, that's my way of saying, fuck you and the horse you rode in on, just to be clear. And the other point that's important about that kind of thing is that, I knew where she got it from. Some of where she got it from was, I remember a few months ago, there was a controversy where Lizzo, I said something about the fact that I don't like the idea that Lizzo, as talented and as beautiful and as amazing as I'm sure she is in her own life, is being paraded out here like an Aunt Jemima to promote obesity to the black community. I did not want to position this as me attacking Lizzo, but I knew that's how people were going to perceive it. Really, I was attacking Apple Music. I'm talking about the recording industry that will push aside an India Arie so they can promote a Cardi B. That's who I was talking about, but people don't get that. And also the other thing too is they want to reduce the conversation. They like to dumb it down, right? To make it into some stupid political thing to feed into a gender war, right? So they get into, so literally the white media, here's what the white media did. They took my comments and they paraded it as this evil black professor who hates black women was attacking Lizzo and attacking black women. And I'm like, no. And the thing was, it was interesting. But this is what they do. This is how propaganda works. And this is how white media works. This is why I don't trust white media. I don't listen to any of it. I don't read. I'm not into any of that. I read a little bit, but I take it with a big grain of salt. It was like interesting that you have written 10,000 articles about what I said about the mass promotion of obesity. And not one of you reached out to interview me and asked me to explain what I was saying, because you didn't care what I was saying. You didn't care about the nuance of it. You didn't care about the debate. You only cared about the headline, right? And that's what they do. But pay attention now. 3 months later, everybody's crying because black people are the number one group dying from COVID. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Like, black people dying from COVID. That's why y'all got to vote for the Democrats, vote for Joe Biden, because black people dying from COVID. Okay. Well, what is one of the leading risk factors in COVID? Obesity. Obesity is at the top of the list. So me saying like we shouldn't be mass promoting obesity as if it's a good thing is not me hating black people. It's actually me loving black people enough to say, let's stop with the bullshit. Like, how about we be healthy? Because think about this. They'll talk to you all day about medicine you can pay for, people dying and going to the hospital. They'll talk all day about vaccines they want you to take, but ain't nobody talking about like getting your chubby ass off the couch and walking around the block a couple times, eating some healthy food, putting down the Popeye's chicken, picking up some vegetables, and literally doing what I had to do, which is to break the bad eating habits that we have. 5 years ago, y'all have seen me lose weight. Y'all have seen me in my growth, right? Some of y'all make fun of me because my teeth look funny. Well, that's because I got tired of having fucked up teeth. because I wanted to do better as a black man. Some of y'all laugh because I'm skinnier than I am now. You look at old pictures 5 years ago and you're like, whoa, that's the fat boys. You were big. Yeah, that's because I had to confront my own bullshit and become a better man. And I said, I'm not going out like a sucker. I'm not going to go out as a 40-something-year-old man with a heart attack. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to lose some of this damn weight. Right. So what I'm saying to you is that these people are playing you. These people are not your friends. They care nothing about you. They want you in the same position that you've always been in. So they always have a problem that they can pretend to fix. If you fix your own problem, then they are out of business. If you suddenly become healthy, then they're not making money selling you medication and vaccines. If you suddenly get your money right, they are not making money by promising you jobs because you know how to create your own job. If you're suddenly doing better on your own, then they can't come to you with a sob story to say, well, we know you, that black people suffer more than anybody, and Lord Jesus know that you'll need to, Mr. Biden is gonna fix it for you. He's just gonna fix it for you. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the coon dance for you. I am a man, goddammit. That's what I am, period. So I'm telling you, like, these people are not they're just not your friends. And I just want you to empower yourself and to know that a lot of these things that they claim to fix for you, you can fix yourself. But you got to have confidence. Confidence is where it starts. Self-love is where it starts. And so just going back to that conversation where this lady's telling me that, I heard that you hate black women. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of trying to fix people's opinions. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. I can't, the black women can't stand them, but fuck them raggedy ass black women, blah, 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 whatever. Right. But you know what? At the end of the day, I turn to the black woman I'm going to marry. And that means a lot. For example, I think when you talk about Kamala Harris, it does matter that she didn't marry a black man. I'm not saying it makes her a terrible person or makes her a waste, but you cannot, again, with Barack Obama, you wouldn't have seen Barack the same if he'd married a white woman. Talking about I'm for the black community, but I got a white wife. No, who you marry, that says a lot about you. It doesn't make you a bad person if you chose to go in another direction, but it says something about your value system, because your value system doesn't show itself from what you say. It shows itself from what you sacrifice. If I give my life to a black woman, if I give my wealth to a black woman, if I'm giving all my time to a black woman, that's different from me just saying, I love y'all black women, but I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna protect this blonde-haired, blue-eyed specimen that I found in Hollywood. That's not the same thing. And I think it's very important to just be kind of honest about that. Not from a place of purity, but from just a place of integrity and saying, like what you do does matter. And we have to think about these things. Okay. Manny says, is this a live broadcast? Yes, it is. It is live. We are 100% live. Libra Juice, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. He says, I have trouble understanding what Bitcoin is and how it relates to money. Yeah, Bitcoin is hard for a lot of people to understand. Bitcoin is like digital currency that's built on a certain ecosystem, and it's mined through this process or this system called the blockchain, which is absolutely brilliant. And basically, Bitcoin, it's difficult to gauge exactly what the fundamental value of Bitcoin is. But the problem is that the same thing is actually true for your real money. Your actual money in your wallet doesn't have any fundamental value. It used to. You used to be able to trade dollar bills for gold, but you can't do that anymore. And so basically gold is your dollars are kind of worthless. Like if everybody decided that dollar bills were just going to be worthless, then they will become worthless. So Bitcoin is has about as much value as fiat currency, the money in your pocket. But I think that there's a lot of indication that Bitcoin's value is going to go up. I'm convinced that it's going to do well. I'm a long-term investor, long-term holder of Bitcoin. And so my argument is that Bitcoin, my belief and what I'm doing in terms of my actions says that I'm a believer that Bitcoin is going to do well. Let's see, I'm up 500%, nearly 200K. What? Fardanis, somebody clap for this brother. Thank you for all that you do, brother. I've been following you since we were at Syracuse together. Okay, all right, man. Well, good to see you again. Wow, I love hearing about a black man getting money. How many of y'all been making money this week? If you've been making money, raise your hand. Say something in the chat. In fact, if you're really brave, give me an amount. Like, give me something that's gonna make me smile tonight when I go to bed. Because I want to see black people doing well. I want to see black people rich. I want to see black people paid. I want to see you having powernomics, not strugglenomics. So, how many of you are making money? How much money are you making? Lay a number out. I like to see numbers. Like, I don't know. I don't care what number, whatever you want to share with us. Okay, I see a lot of thumbs ups and a lot of yeses, and I see money bags. Okay, is that $25? Okay, good. All right, hustle gold. That's a good start. What's a good retirement plan for people over 40? Not this like Robinhood crazy trading that people are doing. Index funds might be good. 7 million? No way. I don't even believe you. If you give me say it again. Like say 7 million for real. If you really made 7 million, because if that 7 million is a real number, then shit, God bless you. Yeah, why don't you invest in the Black Business School? We want to expand. TA 160, very nice. 160K. Okay. I made $1,000 off of AMC, says New Jerusalem. Good for you. 3,300, Big Griff. Stop lying. LO. You know, I did hear from a student that said he made 100,000. That's the biggest number I've seen so far. Okay, Coach T Max says 1 million. All right. You talked to Dame Dash lately? No, Dame and I we're cool, but we don't talk as much as we used to. Let's see. January pimping, $57. Big pimping, $57. All right. And I see Megan made 1,800 pounds. Good for you. Good for you, old chap. I can't do a British accent, but I love my friends from London, though. God, I love London. Let's see. Can you talk about financial ratios? Not today, but like the most popular financial ratio is price earnings ratio. If you go to the blackstockmarketprogram.com, I have a whole section on ratios. And so I'll put the URL up on the screen so you can grab it if you want to. The first month is free. I'll find it. Let me see. So put your amounts in there. I'm gonna read through the amounts real quick. Let me see. You know what? I can't even find the URL. Let me try to type it in. Okay. All right. Okay, there you go. So feel free to go take a look. All right, 125K, but invested mostly in GM since February. Good for you. 125K. Okay, that's a nice number. D Harris says, trying to convince my parents to invest. They're over 60. How would you coach them? Just share with them what you know. But just understand, people got to make their own decision. I have relatives in my own family who won't invest, and it's just maybe a discipline thing. I mean, it's fine. I mean, all I can do is do my best to try to help them. Really, I might have to join the options class. Yeah, if you go to stockoptionsmasterclass.com, that's where you can find my options class if you want to go take a look at the recording of the masterclass that we did. Let me see here. Yeah, there's a stock options masterclass. Okay, let's see here. I'm up 28%. Good for you. How do I invest in Bitcoin? A lot of people use Coinbase, and some people, I use Bittrex and Coinbase. But there's other stuff out there. You can also you can buy crypto on like Cash App and Robinhood and stuff like that. The commissions are a little higher, but some people don't care about that. So Haley's gift really says they made $7 million. Well, if that's the case, then God bless you. I think that is so awesome. I'm so happy for you. I am very happy for your family. And I just think that's totally awesome. KHP, Dr. Boyce, I'm 25 and finally own 2 vacant lots in Sarasota, Florida. What are the best ways to raise money to build investment properties on them? I would speak to real estate experts, but I'm thinking if you have some equity that you can take to a bank and convince them to loan you something against what you own. If you have stocks or the land, has a certain value, you could do that. You're going to have to get the cash from somewhere. You could find a partner, somebody that would invest, the equity and give them a percentage of ownership. I would get a consultant, though. I wouldn't just jump in and try to do it. I would go talk to some people about that. Let's see here. Okay, perfume and bottles says 11,000. Good. Okay, Senna made $80 on AMC. Good for you. Queen Effie, 15K. All right. Big Griff is about to purchase a 3-family home. Good for you. Home ownership is one of the first steps toward wealth. So you are going to be very successful economically. Congratulations to you. Do you think Capitol invasion was an inside job like September 11th? The invasion of the Capitol in DC. Yeah, I felt like it was very suspicious to me because you have a $1 trillion military, and this was one of the most heavily fortified buildings in the entire United States. So either you're full of crap or your $1 trillion military stood down deliberately And if they did stand down deliberately, I'd like to know why. And I think that if you did stand down deliberately, or if you didn't stand down deliberately, and this was the best you could do, then what makes us think you can really defend the country when you can't even defend one of the most important buildings in the United States? So I do think that I think it could have been an inside job. It could have been a false flag operation to create enough visuals to justify, taking away a bunch of people's freedoms. It's happened a lot. I mean, it's happened all throughout history. All kinds of false flag operations. When Hitler wanted to assume absolute power, he basically made people afraid by burning down one of the government buildings, which was kind of like a siege on the Capitol, right? He burned down one of the government buildings, and then he said, "Oh, these people did it, so you got to give me power so I can protect everybody." And then everyone gave him power, and he destroyed Germany. So ultimately, these sorts of things happen all the time. Some people think 9/11 could be in that category. I don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no. I know Van Jones did sign that 9/11 Truth Commission petition that was out, which was enough to actually get him removed from the White House. But I agree with Van. I think that Van was right to sign that document. So, another example, World War II. A lot of people wonder about Pearl Harbor because we conveniently got into World War II, which actually the president at the time, I guess Roosevelt, wanted to be involved in World War II, but the American people didn't want to be involved in the war. They supported isolationism. Well, what happened was after Pearl Harbor happened, people became triggered and pissed off and mad, and they were like, "Oh yeah, let's go kill the Germans and the Japs," and it was actually the Japanese that they wanted to go after, and then suddenly the war machine was behind that, everything that happened after that. And people make a lot of money in war. War is very profitable for certain people. We did a lot of manufacturing during war. Also, war allowed us to enhance our industrial capacity quite a bit because you were able to get women into the workforce. And that's what the capitalists are seeking to do. They want everybody working. They don't want mama staying home and daddy going to work. They want mama and daddy at work and the babies if they can get the kids at work, right? So a lot of these social movements are driven by people that have a financial incentive to get you involved in these movements. And so I would encourage you to think it through. Do your research, do your homework. Don't just jump on a bandwagon just because everybody's doing it. That'll make you crazy and stupid. Let's see. Big Griff made 80K worth 167K. So you turned 80 into 167. Good for you. Let's see here. I don't have much, but I'm trying. Says Cinna, keep trying. You will have much. You will be wealthy one day. I'm blessing you with wealth. I'm wishing wealth in your direction. So that means it's going to happen. Let's see. Lawn Amateur. His question is, I hope everyone is capitalizing off these times we're in right now. The internet has made it easier for everyone to make money. If you're using it right, don't follow the BS, follow the money. Blessings to all. That's right. Follow the money. Don't follow the BS, follow the money. What are your thoughts on syndicating as a way to enter the real estate business? I think it's a great idea. That's a great way to spread the cost and spread the risk and all that stuff. Let's see. I need your help. My name is Max. I'm from Brockton, and I'm a Black young man trying to change his life. Is there a way we can contact each other? We have a lot in common. I don't talk on the phone, honestly. I'm very antisocial, but I do actually have a program that's totally free. It used to cost $1,000 for a lifetime membership, but we made it totally free because I want young people to be able to do this for free. And it's called Black Keys to Greatness. If you go to blackkeystogreatness.com, there is a whole curriculum on nothing but success. So if my Uncle Boyce stuff appeals to you, it doesn't appeal to everybody, but if it appeals to you, then basically think of Black Keys to Greatness as like Uncle Boyce speaks. And this is literally me laying out every single thing I can think of about what's required to be successful in life. What does it mean to be able to grow and to achieve goals and stuff like that. And I do that because a lot of young people are fed a bunch of bullshit and they're just taught how to fail. And it makes me angry because I believe that in this world, you're not going to win if you can't learn how to think like a winner. And I want you thinking like a winner. I want you to get up, kick yourself in the butt, push hard, back away from the dirty sons of bitches that are in your life that are holding you back and become your best self. And that's what it's all about. So go to blackkeystogreatness.com. It's totally free. It used to have a fee, but I took the fee off. It's totally free. And it's kind of like a mentorship program. So that's a good thing to do. And I do Q&As and stuff like that in there as well. Can you speak on investing in Africa? I saw you and your son in Africa. Yeah, that's kind of been put on hold because of COVID. But once COVID's over, I want to go back to Ghana, but I want to see some of the other countries too. I kind of feel like I should just, go to Africa and just do maybe 2 weeks at a time in maybe 10 different countries or something, because there's so much happening in Africa and it's so amazing. And I feel sorry for anybody that completely rejects Africa, because I don't think you know what you're missing. You know, Africa is massive, and there's so many millions of people over there, and they got all this wealth. And I just really think that you don't want to, you don't have to write off. You could be foundational Black American, right? And we can put ourselves first, especially on reparations and all that. But I don't think you have to be anti-Pan-Africanism to do that. I don't see Pan-Africanists as my enemy. I don't. I think some of them might be. Some of them can be assholes, but then some of them are really good people that really care about what we're dealing with and really understand and really want to help and really, understand their role. And so I just think that when we get to where we think in terms of generalities, we lose. So I encourage you to just be a little more thoughtful on that, in my opinion. Ivory Coast, Cape Verde. Yeah, absolutely. I want to go there. What is the one single thing you feel is plaguing our community that we can change? Well, we have what we call the Black Core of Three, and the Black Core of Three is our core belief, which says that we believe Black people should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support Black businesses. I think we can do those things. We can do all of those things very easily. It doesn't cost a lot of money to educate a child. And there are schools that run on shoestring budgets like Freedom Home Academy International that educate Black children 100 times better than these white schools. Like if I could choose what happens with the education budget, rather than dumping money into these terrible failing public schools that are just making white people rich by enslaving Black children, I would love to take a big chunk of that money and put that money into schools like Freedom Home Academy and allowing us to design models to educate our children across the country. I also told Ice Cube that I think that with all these athletes and entertainers that are out there, I said, why the hell can y'all, all these guys get together? And I wasn't talking about him in particular. I'm talking about like everybody working together and all your rich friends and everything else and pull together $100 million and just start a Black-owned school system and or Black-owned sports league or just a lot of Black-owned stuff that we could actually do for ourselves. I don't see it being that difficult, and it could actually be profitable. I think that I think you can design an ethical, profitable school model that is not dependent on the government, but isn't raking people of money, but is allowing everybody to carry a piece of the load, where you're not seeing Black people as a charity case. That's a big mistake economically. When you see Black people as nothing but a charity case who can never pay their own way, then all you're basically doing is you're creating a lot of economic immaturity. If you think about it, like when you have imagine people in a car and you got 2 adults and 2 children and the car gets stuck in the snow. Well, the 2 kids are going to stay in the car. If there's 2 men, in the front seat, the 2 men are going to get out and push the car. Or if it's a man and woman, they might get out and push. Or maybe the mom drives the car and the dad pushes. But the 2 adults feel empowered to do something. The kids are just going to sit there and watch. Well, Black people, you're trained to be children. You're literally trained to be 45-year-old teenagers. 45, and what I mean by that is that when it comes to like the grown-up stuff that needs to happen for your community to really prosper, you really think that somebody else is supposed to do that. Like when your child needs to be educated, you really think it's that white man's job to make sure your child is educated, or that it's that white man's job to make sure that Black man has an economic opportunity. And I encourage you to reconsider that, because what that does is that puts you in the position of a powerless child, to the point where even our celebrities, they, when they do their real big boy business deals, they're working with white people. They'll go to Silicon Valley and partner with some white dudes, and start Uber or something. But when it comes to the Black community, they'll give you like charity. Like, oh, well, I went to the hood and I built a basketball court, or I bought free groceries for everybody at Walmart or whatever. I paid their layaway off at Target, whatever. Like, that's baby shit. That doesn't mean it's not important. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't do that. Do those things. But not everybody in the Black community is trying to look for charity. So there are many, many Black people in the community. We got engineers, we got teachers, we got business people, we have marketers, we have expert lawyers, etc., who are all capable of doing the same things white people do. But when they're looking for people that can do things at a high level, that people will go outside of the Black community. They'll say, no, I'll go to the Black community. I'm looking for a basketball player, a rapper, maybe a stripper, a singer, or a charity case, right? But the Black community is so much more than that. So what I'm saying is, that I'm not a big fan of models that disempower us. Like you start with, for example, with education, this fact that the Democrats will say, we're going to give you better schools, but we're not going to let you run the schools. We're not going to give you I'd rather them write a check for however many billions of dollars and let us put those funds directly into the hands of Black people who know how to run a fucking school. Like, what makes you think that we need white people involved in any of that shit? They don't need to be involved in nothing. Doesn't mean I hate them. Doesn't mean that you can't work with them. Doesn't mean I'm saying white people stay away. There may be white people listening. There probably are. What I'm saying is that you got to know the difference between somebody that's really empowering you versus somebody that's kind of managing you, right? When they manage you, it's like they won't help you go create a business to build wealth. What they'll do is they'll offer you a job. They'll say, no, you're a child. You can't run the business. My God, that'll hurt your pretty little head. Let me run the business. I'll be the boss, and I'll make sure that you have a job. Right? That's the kind of talk that you hear from the Joe Biden types. And the thing is that we fit right into that role. Like, it's a tango. When their foot moves back, our foot moves forward. So we're dancing together. So they're showing up offering the jobs. We're showing up asking for the jobs. Now, I'm not saying that we can't have some of our people looking for jobs. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? Some of our people, that's what they want to do. That's fine. But there are some of our people that want something more than that. There's some of our people that are beyond jobs. I had a great conversation with a great guy that I really liked by the name of the Wall Street Trapper, and he learned. I think he got his he got his stock education. He had to go through the system, and he used that in a really productive way. And now he's doing everything he can to really spread the gospel of investing. And one thing that we vibe on completely is this idea that Black men as a collective, as our culture, our strongest alpha men, our men that are built to be leaders, we're not looking to be no white man's employee. Now, the beta males, they can do that. The little gay guys, they can do that. The little childlike infantile Negroes, they can do that. But the men in the community, the real men that really are out there ready to fight, want to compete. They're ready to compete. They're ready to build. They're ready to own. They're ready to strive. They're really ready to grow. They're ready to win. We are warriors. We are winners. We are fighters. We are not little fucking children that need to be safe and protected by this white supremacist who's also claiming to be your guardian at the same time. That's why you didn't see a lot of Black men really, resonating with the Joe Biden, we're going to save you from everything rhetoric. This whole model of like, we're going to scare the hell out of Black people and then get them to do what we want them to do. Like, that didn't work for some of us. Some of us did not fall for that spell. We were like, this is stupid. Like, no, we got this. We can protect ourselves. We don't need your protection. We need you to write that fucking check for those reparations you owe us. Because remember, they don't give you the reparations for slavery. They give you the preparations for slavery. They'll give you more preparations, but not reparations, right? And so we're saying, write the check. And we'll protect ourselves. We can protect ourselves from COVID. We can protect ourselves even from the police. How about you write the check for reparations, and we will build a police force in our neighborhoods so that we can protect ourselves. We don't need to have you protect us from other racist white cops that you actually put on the street during your crime bill. How about we go and we build a police force in our neighborhoods with our money, and we run it the way we want to run it. That's the best source of protection that there is. Empowerment is the greatest form of protection that you can give another human being. So long story short, those are my thoughts. That's what's on my brain. Let me answer a few of your questions. I'm going to keep on going. I'm sorry. I get into this. Let's see here. Forget about race and learn a skill that people need. Let's see. Less talking, more learning. Stop race baiting. I agree with that. Okay. Let's see. Trevor, right on point. We have too much knowledge and grit to throw it all away. Absolutely. Let's see here. Yes. More sense. Yes, I feel you, Dr. Boyce. Write the check. Absolutely. Okay. Dual typed in Dr. Boyce crypto. Yeah. By the way, if you if you want to see what crypto I own, actually, if you go to drboycecrypto.com, there you can get on our mailing list right there. And also I can show you a screenshot of the crypto that I own if you want to take a look at what I bought. I'm not telling you, this is not investment advice. It's just me showing you what I bought. Let's see here. Yep, that's why they call it minority. Yeah, minority is a very a really unempowering word. It's a word that makes you feel tiny and minor and weak. Like, who wants to be a minority? Minorities are tiny and they're little and they barely exist and they talk like this. Like, I'm not a minority. I want to be major. I don't want to be minor. Sorry. Nope, they are trained to oppress, intentional or not. Yeah, they're gonna try to oppress you. And the thing about oppression, you see, one thing I think that we have to kind of process is oppression isn't just uniquely designed for Black people. If you look at the history of the crazy shit that happened in Europe, they were oppressing each other, right? Like, that's what they do. Like, they oppress communities that they're capable of oppressing, and because Europe has had a real ugly history with plagues and all kinds of chaos. And so they're just a little bit, they're just kind of thugs. They're very thuggish because they spend all their time sitting around making weapons to figure out more creative ways to kill each other. And that really wasn't who we were in Africa. I don't think, I mean, they had warfare, of course, in Africa, but it wasn't quite like Europe. Like Europe was, they were real ghetto in Europe. So basically, if you look at the history of that, right? So look at World War II. Adolf Hitler decides, I want to oppress all of Europe. And he was doing this to white people. He wasn't just doing this to black people. And so he goes and he invades Austria because Austria can't fight back. Then he goes and invades Poland. And Joseph Stalin also invades Poland from the other side. And they're basically like, okay, we're going to chop it up. Ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. So they basically just chopped Poland in half and said, okay, you get your half, I get mine, and we're good. And then Hitler got greedy. These are the same sentiments that you see in things like capitalism. So Hitler, one of his mistakes was he got greedy and decided he also wanted to attack Russia, who he'd made a treaty with, right? Russia was like, hey, man, I thought we were just going to both take over the world and oppress everybody. But Hitler's like, no, I hate you too. So he starts to try to invade Russia, and the Russians kicked his ass, right? Because I guess you mistake kindness for weakness, and that's when you lose. And greed, you always lose with greed. But the point is that if you look at that history of Europe, you see a lot of greed, a lot of terrorism, a lot of really horrible, disgusting, oppressive behavior. So one of the things that I believe firmly is that, you don't have to be a bully to know that you have to still be prepared to fight a bully. I'm not saying I don't believe you should ever want to be a bully, but you got to learn how to fight a bully. Same thing with capitalism. You don't have to be a capitalist to fight capitalism, but you got to understand what it is and know how to defend yourself. The best one, because capitalism becomes slavery if you are not empowered. If you are weak and a capitalist entity shows up at your doorstep, they will own you. So your defense is to own things on your own, to have economic power on your own. So you can say to the capitalist who wants to, get you to come, he's like, hey, boy, come be my slave, come work for my factory and make money for me. So you can sit and spend your whole life complaining about how mean I am to you, right? Which actually, by the way, makes them very proud that you sit around and complain about, about how mean they are to you. Like that's really a source of pride. Like when you're complaining about what other people are doing to you and not doing anything about it, you're literally elevating the status of your adversary. Like you're praising them. You just don't realize it, right? You think that somehow magically your complaining is going to make things better. No, it doesn't. When you get on your knees and you're in the street talking about hands up, don't shoot, Black Lives Matter, whatever, I can't breathe, all these really unempowering phrases that they're training you to repeat, all you're really doing is giving much more power to those who are seeking to oppress you. You're reminding them that they are the dominant party and that you are weak and pathetic and defenseless. So basically with capitalism by nature, unfortunately, is a very predatory system. And that's why I'm not a recommender, or I don't recommend capitalism for you. I don't like capitalism. It's not good from a spiritual standpoint because it's built on excessive greed, an insatiable appetite to gobble up resources. It's built on the worship of money. Money becomes the god in the capitalist system. So I don't believe in being a capitalist. I do not believe when people use terms like black capitalism. I tend to say no. I shy away from that. I'm like, no, I'm not really I don't want to be a black capitalist. But I switch. I'll use something like, well, no, I do believe in free enterprise. I do believe in business development. I believe in business ownership. So the way you defend yourself against capitalism is you embrace wealth and ownership as a mechanism to allow you to have what you crave, what your ancestors died for you to have, which is freedom. That's what they died for you to be free. What is freedom? Freedom means doing whatever you want. Freedom means spending time with your family if you want to. It means being able to work from home if you want. It means being able to take a trip when you want to. It means kind of educating your kids the way you want, right? That's what you want. And because if you can't defend that freedom, the thing about freedom also is that you must be able to defend it. If you look at the history of this world, particularly in Europe, and you're dealing with Europeans here, in Europe, the rule during World War II was if you couldn't defend your shit, somebody was going to come take your shit. That's it. The French couldn't defend France. So the Germans went in, took over France, and planted the Nazi flag right in the middle of the Champs-Elysees, right in the middle of Paris. Like literally, like if you couldn't defend what you had, somebody was going to come take it. So the question I asked you is not just whether or not you desire to be free. The questions I would ask will go deeper. I would say, well, do you know what freedom actually is? What does freedom even look like? Half the people talking about freedom don't even know what freedom looks like. You just give them a more comfortable version of slavery and tell them, well, this is what freedom looks like, right? And you become like the little kid who you give them, I don't know, you give them a pair of generic sneakers and you tell him that they're Air Jordans because he's never seen a pair of Air Jordans before, and he's walking around in baby shoes talking about, mommy, I got Jordans, right? Like, so a lot of people don't even know what freedom looks like. So I would ask them, what does freedom look like? What does that mean? And then I would ask, what price are you willing to pay to obtain that freedom? Because freedom does not come for free. Freedom is not something that someone gives you. Freedom is something that you typically have to take. And most people talk about freedom, but they don't really want to pay the price. Everybody want to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to die, right? And one of the things I've learned from my study of history is that any community, any country, any group that wanted to be free had to fight to obtain that freedom. You had to snatch it out of somebody else's hands. And then the last piece is, are you willing to defend it? Are you willing to defend it, and are you capable of defending it, right? And becoming and being willing and being capable are two different things. Willingness is like, yeah, I'll do whatever, ride or die, blah, 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 blah. Capable comes from a commitment to preparation, right? Like, are you really doing the things on a day-to-day basis that are going to prepare you to defend your freedom? Let's talk about wealth, right? So, okay, you say you want to be rich, but do you know what that even means? Do you even know what it means to be wealthy? A lot of people don't even know what that means, right? So you explain, well, actually, wealth means when your net worth is positive and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Also, what are you willing to sacrifice to do that? Where have you sat down and taken classes on building wealth? Have you read books about it? Do you watch videos about it? Because studies show that wealthy people spend 10 times more time studying wealth than regular people. Did y'all know that wealthy people who become self-made millionaires, spend 20 to 30 hours a month studying wealth? The average person spends less than 2 hours a month. I don't know if you know that, but there you go. That's a little factoid for you. So what price are you willing to obtain that wealth? And then, are you prepared and willing to defend what you got? Because once you get something that somebody wants, people are going to come and try to take it. Whether you are sitting on a pile of money, sitting on some beautiful land, or you are having sex with the prettiest girl in school, no matter what it is, if you're the defending champion of the Super Bowl, guys are going to try to beat you the whole season. Are you prepared to defend? If you're not prepared to defend, then you're not grown enough. You're too much of a child to even put the word freedom in your vocabulary. Just take it out of your goddamn mouth, because you ain't ready. You ain't ready. Freedom is not for children. That's why parents tell their children what to do. Freedom is not for children. Freedom is for grown folks who are ready to pay their own bills and make it happen, put it on the line, ride or die. Every time this country has had its freedom jeopardized, there have been soldiers. Shout out to all the veterans in the room. I have a tremendous amount of respect for veterans and soldiers, and let me tell you why. Because every time there's been a situation where the freedom or the freedom of the United States, whatever that it means to you, was jeopardized, you had sons of bitches that would get on a goddamn boat or aircraft carrier, go across the fucking sea with guns on their back, 18, 19, 20 years old, and go out and launch grenades and shit and get their legs blown off and they get bullets in their head just to protect the freedom back at home, right? I'm not saying every war is justified. I'm not saying that every war is a good thing. Some of the wars are driven by politicians, greedy bastards who will send everybody else's child to fight but won't send their own. We know all of that. I'm just talking about the fact that you can't defend freedom on any level if you don't have grown-ups willing to put it on the line to make that happen. And that requires a level of spiritual and intellectual psychological development that a child doesn't really have. Because if all you know how to do is sit around and be scared and hide and shake and shiver and avoid scary things from happening, then you're not built for freedom. Like, freedom is not for you. You need to go find somebody that's brave enough to defend their shit and get underneath their umbrella, right? Because freedom is kind of a grown man, grown woman's game. That's my point. And this is true not just in the U.S., it's true all around the world. When the Russians were being invaded by the Germans in World War II, the Russians didn't just send 3 million, 4 million soldiers ready to die to defend their homeland, the fatherland, or the motherland. Sorry, it was the motherland. In Germany, it's the fatherland. No, they didn't just send 3-4 million soldiers who are ready to die. They had old ladies with sniper weapons defending their families, defending their home. They had children out there with swords and picks and whatever weapon they could get their hands on. So what I'm trying to say to you is that this is what it takes. And unfortunately, you don't have to do all this with blood. This doesn't even, you live in a peaceful society. And I love that. I think that's a good thing about being in America. And I hope we stay this way. But I'm saying, Black people, at the end of the day, what I want to ask you is, are you really ready for what freedom requires? Freedom is a very expensive thing. It's very expensive to obtain, and it's very expensive to maintain. And many, many societies have lost their freedom because they didn't have anybody that was able to defend it. That's why, even though I have nothing against like LGBT agendas and all that shit, I don't want to see the majority of Black men become feminine or infantile, because you can't defend freedom when all your men want to be little girls and want to put on skirts. You can't do that. You need men in your community. You need your alphas. You need your strong Black males that are going to stand out there and do what they got to do. And the strong women that'll stand with them and get it done too. And in every war, you didn't just have the soldiers. You had the nurses that would get killed on the battlefield. You had all of this stuff. Are you prepared to defend your freedom? Start with your family. Start with your life. Are you prepared to do what it takes to become free? And once you do what it takes to become free, are you prepared and willing, and are you equipped to defend that freedom? If the answer is no, that's okay. But figure out what it's going to take to make that answer into a yes, and a legitimate yes, where it's not just talk. Talk is cheap. Anybody can talk. What are you doing on a daily basis to obtain your freedom and to defend it? That's the question I leave you with tonight. I'm going to go upstairs. Me and my woman going to watch some Star Trek. Love you guys. Have a good night. And please, if you could, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. And also follow me on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, I'm at The Real Boyce Watkins. So there's my IG. I'm also on Clubhouse and all that stuff too, and Twitter and all that. So feel free to follow me on social media. All right, I'm out of here. Have a good night. I'll see you soon.